You know, that specific kind of social awkwardness, the one that I think only dog owners really truly get.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's Sunday morning, you've got your coffee, you're walking your dog, let's call him Buster,
Yeah.
and you see another owner, they're walking their dog, Bella?
Yep. The inevitable collision course. I can see it now.
Right. And as a human, you have these, scripts in your head. You think, okay, we'll stop, maybe a little nod. Good morning, civilized.
But Buster and Bella.
They have a completely different plan. They just ignore the face, they ignore the eyes, and they go straight for, well, the other ends.
The infamous tail greeting.
The sniff. And then suddenly you and this total stranger are just standing there. Leashes are getting tangled. You're doing that polite, apologetic laugh while your dogs are intimately investigating each other.
It feels rude. By our standards, anyway.
It feels rude, it feels invasive, and, it's just a little bit gross if we're being honest.
It is, if you're looking at it through a human lens. But that's, I think, the mistake we all make. We project our social rules onto a species that is just. It's operating on a completely different sensory level.
Right.
What looks like a privacy breach to us is actually a really sophisticated data transfer.
And that is the aha moment we are chasing today. We're looking at this fascinating breakdown of canine behavior from a text titled, Why Do Dogs Like to Sniff Each Other? The Secret Most People Don't Know. And the mission here, it isn't just to explain why they do it so we feel a bit less embarrassed on our walks. It's to decode what's actually happening in that invisible chemical world.
It's really about shifting your entire worldview. I mean, we are visual creatures. We trust our eyes above everything.
Right.
But dogs, there's olfactory creatures. So to understand the sniff, you have to get that for a dog. The nose is the window to reality.
The source starts with the hardware, which I think it's the right place to start. It makes this comparison that really stuck with me. It calls the nose the real ID card.
A perfect analogy.
But before we even get to the ID card itself, we have to talk about the reader. The machinery.
The stats are they're staggering. The text notes that a dog's sense of smell is approximately 40 times stronger than a human's.
See, I always struggle with multipliers like that. 40 times stronger. It sounds huge, but what does it actually mean? Are smells just 40 times more intense?
Yeah, that's a common way to think about it, but it's not quite right. It's not really about volume or intensity. It's about resolution.
Okay. What do you mean by resolution?
Think about it visually. If you and I look at a table, we see a table. We might see the wood grain. That's our, let's say, standard definition view.
Okay.
A dog isn't just seeing the table in 4K. They're seeing it under a microscope. They aren't just smelling stronger. They are deconstructing the scent into its, atomic parts.
The source uses a cooking analogy that I found helpful, but I want to push on it a little. It talks about walking into a kitchen where someone's making, say, a stew.
Right. So when we walk into that kitchen, our brain is designed to integrate everything. We smell beef, carrots, onions, some spices, and our brain just simplifies it. It says, stew.
It's one concept. A shortcut.
Precisely. But a dog's brain doesn't do that. It doesn't group, it separates. They don't smell stew.
They smell the beef.
They smell the beef.
Yeah.
And the carrots. And the onions.
Sure.
And the pepper. They can probably smell the mineral content of the water that was used to boil it.
They're processing all these parallel streams of data at the same time.
Wow. That distinction is huge. Integration versus differentiation.
Yes.
It explains why they can pick up one scent in a park that's been trampled by, 100 other people. We just see a crowd. They see every single face in that crowd, chemically.
And that biological superpower is what sets the stage for the greeting. So when Buster meets Bella, he's not just saying hello. He's using that high-resolution sensor to download a dossier. Okay, so let's unpack the download, because the source compares this to reading a CV or a biography. And I think that's where that human-dog disconnect is so big. We say hi, and we might learn a name.
Maybe. But the dog is getting so much more than that. It's sort of a non-consensual information extraction, really.
Yeah, I like that.
You can choose what you put on your LinkedIn profile. You can curate your own image. A dog can't hide its chemical signature. It's all out there.
So let's run down the list of what's actually in this dossier. The source lists the basics first. Gender and age.
Those are like the headers on the file. Gender is immediate. The hormonal signatures are just unmistakable. Age is really interesting because it's not just puppy or adult.
More detailed than that.
Oh, yeah. As a dog ages, its metabolic processes change, its skin changes, the bacteria on it changes. All of that creates a scent timeline.
So they can tell the difference between a spry 3-year-old and like a geriatric 12-year-old, without seeing a single gray hair.
Without looking at them at all.
Then we get to health. And this is where I feel like this survival aspect has to kick in. The source says they can detect health status. How granular is that?
That's a good question.
Are we talking, I have a bit of a tummy ache, or is it more, I have a systemic disease?
It's likely both. I mean, think about what illness does to a body. It creates inflammation. It changes how you process sugar. It changes your gut biome. All of those things produce waste products, metabolites that get excreted through the skin, through glands.
So if a dog has an infection, it actually smells like an infected.
To another dog, yes. And in the wild, that's critical information. If you're meeting a strange dog, you need to know, is this animal strong? Is it sick? Is it a threat, or is it vulnerable? You don't get that from a handshake.
You definitely don't. And connected to health is diet. The source mentions they know what the other dog has eaten.
Which makes perfect sense, right? Digestion is just breaking down food into chemical compounds. So if Bella had salmon for breakfast, her metabolic output is going to smell like processed salmon molecules.
Oh, you're on the high-end grain-free diet, I see.
Or, I can smell the garbage you raided 3 hours ago. It's all there. It's in the record.
Okay, so we have the physical stats: gender, age, health, diet. That's a pretty complete medical history right there.
It is.
But then the source moves on to something else: psychology. And this is where that whole CV analogy turns into something more like a mind-reading trick.
This, for me, is the most profound part of the whole interaction. The idea that dogs can literally smell emotions.
And it sounds almost mystical, doesn't it? Smelling fear. It sounds like a line from a horror movie. But the text grounds it in biology.
It's purely biological. We tend to think of emotions as these abstract feelings, just thoughts in our head. But emotions are physical events. When you're stressed, your body dumps cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream.
Okay.
When you're happy or bonding with someone, you release oxytocin.
And those hormones, they have a scent.
They alter your body chemistry, which in turn alters your scent profile. We even know this from studies where dogs can identify sweat samples from people who watch scary movies versus, say, comedy movies.
So when Buster meets Bella, and Bella's feeling anxious, she isn't just acting anxious. She's radiating the scent of anxiety.
Exactly. And this brings up such a fascinating contrast with us humans. We are masters of deception.
We really are.
If I'm nervous about a meeting, I can put on a smile, I can lower my voice, I can stand up straight, I can lie.
We do it all the time. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. Meanwhile, your whole world is burning down inside.
Right. But in the canine world, that lie is impossible. You cannot fake your chemical output. If a dog is afraid, every other dog around knows it instantly. It's a system of radical honesty.
That just reframes the whole park interaction. It's not just checking an ID, it's checking the mood in the room. It's a threat assessment based on emotional stability.
Is this dog confident? Is it aggressive? Is it terrified? Knowing that answer prevents so many fights. It stabilizes the whole social hierarchy.
Imagine if we had to announce our true emotional state every time we walked into a room.
Human society would look very, very different. It would be chaos for us. But for them, it's the foundation of social order.
So we've established this massive amount of data they're pulling. Now we have to address the where. Because the source text is very specific about the physiology, and we can't ignore the reason they go for the tail.
The anal sacs.
The anal sacs. Not a polite topic for the dinner table, but it's completely central to this whole behavior.
It is. They're located on either side of the rectum, these small glands, and their sole purpose, evolutionarily, is to secrete this information-rich fluid we've been talking about.
The source calls it a chemical fingerprint.
That's a great analogy because it really implies uniqueness. Every single dog's secretion from these glands is chemically unique to them. It's their signature.
So why there? Why put the ID card under the tail?
Well, think about safety and preservation. These chemical scents, they can degrade. If you look at a lot of mammals, the scent glands are in protected areas. It's also a way to concentrate the signal. When a dog lifts its tail, it's basically opening the book.
It's an active gesture.
A very active gesture of communication. It's saying, read me.
And conversely, when a dog clamps its tail down,
They're hiding the data. They're closing the book. They're saying, I do not consent to this background check. It's a very clear signal of withdrawal or fear.
so when we see them spinning around each other, nose to tail, it's a mutual data exchange. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
It's the handshake, the business card exchange, and the background check, all happening in about 3 seconds.
And once that data is exchanged, it doesn't just vanish. The source brings up this idea of long-term memory. And this is another place where the nose just beats the eyes, hands down.
Olfactory memory is incredibly persistent. In humans, we talk about the Proustian moment. You smell a certain cookie or
Right.
a perfume, and you are instantly transported back to your childhood.
Oh yeah, that happens to me with sunscreen. I smell it and I'm instantly back at the beach in like 1999.
Exactly. That neural pathway between the olfactory bulb and the hippocampus, the memory center, it's short and it's direct. For dogs, this is their main way of recognizing individuals over time.
The source describes a reunion scenario. A dog seeing someone they haven't seen in years.
And visuals can be tricky. I mean, people change shape, they change their hair color, they start wearing hats. Dogs can be fooled visually.
But the chemical signature, that fingerprint.
That is stable.
So the dog might bark at you at first because you look different.
But the second you get close enough for those particles to hit the nose, boom, recognition. The database gets a match. Oh, it's you!
It explains those viral videos of soldiers coming home.
Yeah.
The dog is hesitant, and then there's the sniff, and then just absolute joy.
The sniff is the confirmation code.
Yeah.
Until the nose validates the information, it's not real.
It just really emphasizes that they're living in this parallel reality. We navigate a world of light and sound. They navigate a world of chemical gradients.
And those worlds overlap, but they aren't the same. We walk down the street and we see buildings. They walk down the street and they read the news.
Read the
Of
news.
Who was here? When were they here? Were they sick? Were they scared? It's this rich, layered story that we are completely blind to.
Which brings us to the practical application of this deep dive. The source material ends with, effectively, a plea to the owner.
To reframe the walk.
Right, because if you see the sniff as just a dirty habit, you stop it. You pull the leash, you say, "Leave it, Buster."
And when you do that, you are essentially blindfolding your dog. You are cutting off their access to the newsfeed. You are stopping them from understanding who is in their environment.
It's like walking into a party and having someone cover your eyes and plug your ears. You'd feel incredibly insecure.
You would. You wouldn't know who was friendly, who was a threat, or where you stood.
Yeah.
Allowing the sniff, even if it's a bit awkward for us, is so crucial for a dog's mental well-being. It lets them settle.
Right.
Okay, I know who that is. I know he's old and grumpy, but not dangerous. I can relax now.
So the advice is, just endure the awkwardness.
Embrace the awkwardness. Give them that extra 5 seconds. It's such a small cost for us, but it's a massive amount of information for them.
I think that's a great takeaway. But before we sign off, I want to circle back to the psychology aspect one last time. There is a provocative thought lurking there that I just can't shake.
I have a feeling I know where you're going with this.
If dogs can smell fear and stress and illness, and if they're constantly reading this chemical truth from everyone around them, what does that mean for us, the owners?
It means you are broadcasting your diary to your dog every single day.
Exactly. We come home from work, we've had a terrible day, we're stressed out, but we put on the happy dog voice. "Hi, buddy. Who's a good boy?" We think we're shielding them from our bad mood.
But chemically, you reek of cortisol, you smell like adrenaline, you smell like exhaustion. The sound your voice says happy, but the chemical signal says distress.
They know we're lying.
They absolutely know. It explains why dogs are so often used as emotional support animals or in therapy. They respond to the chemical reality, not the social mask we put on. You just can't fool them.
That is both comforting and,
Yeah.
slightly intrusive.
It's a level of intimacy that really only exists between a dog and its human. You are chemically transparent to them.
So the next time your dog comes up and just nudges you when you're feeling down, even if you haven't said a word,
It's because they read your status update before you even sat down on the couch.
that is a wild thought to leave you with. We can't hide from our dogs.
You really can't.
Thank you so much for helping us decode this invisible world. I am definitely going to look at my dog differently on our walk this evening.
It's been a pleasure. It really gives you a new appreciation for the nose.
Absolutely. And to everyone listening, thanks for diving deep with us. Go give your dog an extra second to sniff today. They're just checking the paperwork. We'll see you next time.